name is Ether Gunman 93 here, and welcome to I think this is part 28 now, I think, of the building a city. Now, you may have noticed right off the bat, though, that something has changed. In fact, it is indeed changed. You may have noticed that the extra blocks, though, is gone. Well, there's a reason why, though. Look at this. Oh, wait, what? These are craftable ones? Let me see this real quick. Now the blocks in the... Now the book is compiled with texture packs. Oh, we have to craft them. Oh. Oops, sorry about that, guys. Let me just do a little bit. There we go. Dang. You have a pilot hat and an old pilot hat. Interesting. Oh, I can make this a survival. I didn't know that. A beetle? Interesting. Hey, it's the DeLorean. Future car. It's the DeLorean. Why do we need a fermented spider eye for this one? That's a semi-truck. What? Garbage truck. That's new. Ice cream truck? Police van. School bus. Tractor. A racing motorcycle? No, that's new. Scooter. Wait, there's a go-kart? I'm so making a go-kart place. I have to make one now, because there's go-karts in here. A shopping cart go-kart. What is up with this? What is up with this? Very fun experiment. Golf cart. Jet ski. A boat. Helicopter, helicopter. Wait, that's a stealth bomber. I recognize it. That's a B-2 stealth bomber. I recognize it from Shin Godzilla. You know, the movie? Back in 20... you probably don't know what I'm talking about. But yes, Shin Godzilla is a movie. And I'm holding on to this book. Oh, wait, I don't need to, though, because I'm on survival. Anyways, what I'm going to need to do, though, I'm going to need to kind of finish off this a little bit over here. So, let me grab this out. And let's continue this. Let's extend this out to here for right now. Oh, if you're wondering why I'm humming to Five Nights at Freddy's, though, that's because I didn't see the FNAF 2 movie in theaters. A little upset about it though, but no big deal. It's kind of like how I saw the first FNAF movie though out in theaters though. But I couldn't watch the second one though because I had work. Yeah. I will test out each of these vehicles though. I will do that. But I am going to need to add some like a light post though as well though. But these lights don't even work. Which is why I have the dynamic lighting though, but unfortunately it won't work with the car add-on that I have enabled. So how many blocks though? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Ah, darn it, I messed up. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. 23 blocks. No, 2. 1, 2, 3, that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Booyah. There we go. Now I just have to line it up, which I already have. There we go. Now if you're wondering why that's going to be like that, well, that's because I'm going to be adding 2 tracks there. Well, maybe. So I don't know yet. You know what? Yeah, it wouldn't hurt though. But the problem is, I'll have to have like, I have to have like this connecting to over there. So yeah, it's gonna be a pain in the butt, to be honest. There we go. So. Yeah, I think I might be building that incorrectly though. I think yeah, I definitely am. Hold on. Oh, I gotta get the grass block out real quick. Hold on. There we go. There we go. Now that looks more accurate. So now what we're gonna need to do is I'm gonna need to figure out like a. I could turn that right there though, to be honest though, but then it's gonna be turned too early. I don't want it to turn too early. So I'm gonna extend this out to here. There we go. Before I make the turn right here. If you're wondering why I'm using gravel though, there we go. Because now what I want to do though is I want to like make it look accurate though. So what I need to do though is I need to come over here a little bit and just start adding some tracks over here. Actually, wait. Have you ever seen a railroad crossing with 4 tracks? Yeah, I haven't though. But it wouldn't hurt to give it a try, you know? It wouldn't hurt. Yeah, I definitely built this too wide though then, if I'm gonna do 4 tracks. Yeah, these are definitely separated though too far. If I'm gonna be doing 2 tracks. Like this. There we go, nice. Because this area right here, though, is actually going to lead into like a train station over here. Because over here, I'm going to stick a train station. You know the reason why I need 4 tracks. Come to think of it. So what I'm going to need to do, though, is, yeah, that's what I'm going to need to do. I'm going to need to, like, turn this area right here into a parking lot. Though, because now the train station is going to need to go through all the way over here, though. So that in this case, this is going to not have to be here unless if I just leave it like that for right now, continue this down through here, and then kind of connect that up with that over there, kind of make it like a train station, you know? I guess that kind of makes sense to me a little bit. Darn it. Now, if you're wondering, though, like, what's it called? There we go, there we go. Okay, now let's grab out the full block. Let's kind of leave this in there for right now, though, just so I can grab this stuff. Because if you notice, though, wait, oops, you can't put one of these things next to each other, which is why I'm kind of making it like this a little bit though. But then I realized something. Something I just realized. I need to kind of spread these out just by one more block. It's just to make it kind of equal, you know? So I gotta grab the track back out then. Stick it right here. Oh, you want though? I want to have like a 3x3 walk area there actually. Yeah, I want to have like a 3x3 rather than a 2x3. There we go. Oh, now I gotta gravel back out. There we go. I just can't like have a like there we go. Okay, so that's gonna be one area for the tracks though. But the problem is, I need to have another set though. I don't want it too close to that. Right over there. So, I might have to either A, push that out back more, so, or B, just try to figure something out. Because I want this train station though to have like kind of like two different platforms though. Yeah, that's what I want. I want to have like two platforms though, rather than, well, technically three, because we're gonna have one over here, one in the center, and then one off to the side, like to the other side though. So what I need to do is I need to calculate though. So there's two. So it's a 2-block gap from here, even though it shouldn't be like that. Here, let me just. Yeah, I'm gonna need to move this real quick though, to be honest. So let me just. Move that. Yeah, I was gonna move this real quick though. Actually, no. Actually, I'm not gonna do that though, because I'm gonna be adding a tunnel through here, actually. I just need to get out the proper tunnel blocks though, but first though, I need to figure out like where I'm gonna put the other two tracks though. And that's my problem. I need to figure out where I'm gonna put the other two tracks. So that's going to lead into the train station. Well, first things first is let me at least get this done at least. Now, normally though, when you see two train tracks side by side though, when you like normally see tracks though, there's like a 1-block gap though. But to me, a 1-block gap with sidewalk though, it just doesn't look right to me. Giving me the reason why I'm doing this though. There we go. Now I need to add this block here as well, though. There we go. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so now what I'm going to need to do, though, is now I need to kind of, like, So now I need to figure out those. I need to kind of figure out like where the other one is going to be though, because I don't want to have like too close to that. Because if I want to make the center platform though, I want to make the center platform kind of like right here though. But I need to build the tunnel first though. I just realized. So I'm going to stick this stuff in my inventory real quick. So I'll then grab the materials for the tunnel, which they should be. What is this? What is? Huh? What is this? Turnstile? What is... What? You have tunnel trims. Oh, we also have subway tunnel trims. Interesting. So I'm going to grab white concrete tunnel trims. Now, do these tunnel trims... No, they don't. They do not come with light. Which means I'm going to need to add light myself. Okay, so now the thing is though, wait, a stripped pole? What does that mean? I don't know what that means. Zebra crossing light, and then we have construction lamp. Interesting. Now, what I want to do though is, well, let me just see what this looks like first. Oh. Oh, it's got to go on top of the gravel. But it's fine, though. Oh, wait, it's not fine, though. Because I need to... Well, it kind of is, though, because I have to do it, like, underneath the bridge, though. Because I'm going to have the tunnel kind of go straight to the other thing. You have to leave a bit of a walk path, too, though, for, like, the workers and stuff, though, you know? Now, this is where things get more complex, though. Because with this, because tunnels are curved. And there's only tunnel trims and subway tunnel blocks. Which gives me wondering, how is this going to work? Exactly. If it's going to look like this. Well, I guess these tunnels are going to have to be square, though. Like square tunnels. Now, obviously, though, what I'm going to need to do, though, is I'm going to need to do the same thing, but on the opposite side, though, as well. So basically, what I'm going to need to do, though, is I'm going to need to kind of copy this on the other side, though, as well, though. But I'm not going to use commands, though, because commands, though, are, like, so annoying for me. Okay, so if the tunnel is going to look like that, though, I need to add, like, a supporting block on the top. Which means I need to grab out white concrete for the top. Oh, that's not even going to work. But that will. Wait a minute. Am I stupid or something? I can't make it turn. I just had a brain fart. You see what I just did here? Hold on a minute. Do that, then... What the heck? What the heck? What? Oh, nifty, nifty, nifty. So that block can stay there. Well, what I can do, though, is then I can then do a little something like that. And it will still, like, blend in. Now, what I need to do, though, is I'm going to need to kind of delete these blocks down here, though. Just so it can, like, match perfectly, though, you know? Just so it can kind of, like, match the aesthetic of the tunnel, though. I like that design. Ooh la la. I really like that design of the tunnel. Well, the start off of the tunnel at least. Now, here's my question though. What happens if I stick like a redstone torch though, which the torch I'm going to be using for the tunnels? Does it actually like? Okay, so it just floats there. It just floats. Okay, noted. So now that I know that it just floats there, I'm going to need to kind of stick the redstone torches at the top of the tunnel though. Well, first things first though is I gotta kind of finish off the tunnel first though. Which the start of the tunnel is gonna be at the edge of this bridge right here. So how tall is this though? 1, 2, 3. Okay, so it's 3 blocks tall for this part though. Think of the white concrete tunnel trim though as like. Think of this as like a white concrete slab. Just think about it though, like a standing up slab. There we go. Oh, whoops, I don't know why that's there. There we go. Sorry if I like went quiet all of a sudden. I was texting someone. The tunnels are also like curved though. So I might not actually have these blocks here though. I just want to look at the difference though between the two though. Which one looks better? Yeah, I like that side better though. Because it gives more support. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it like this actually. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it like this though, just so I can give it some more support. But now what I need to do is I need to fill this in like this. Like this though, as well. Now, like I said though, I'm gonna need to do the tutorial though for when I do like the actual train station itself though as well. I'm gonna need to do that as well though, which is a bit of a problem because I need to do it on a separate world, and then I need to watch because what I want to do though is I want to do the entire tutorial first though, just so it make it easier on myself to kind of work on that too though, you know. So what I'm going to need to do though, I'm going to need to kind of do it like on this side as well, to like all over here too. Well, but making sure it's not too close to that though as well though. So let's grab out the gravel and then the tracks again. Stick the redstone torch though, and that, well, not really that though, kind of like that, and let's stick kind of like that in my inventory there. Okay, because what I'm gonna need to do though is I'm gonna need to figure out like how to space it out properly though. So let me just see what it looks like if I put it here. If I put like the farthest one over here, and then have a 9 block, then have a 3x3, and then have it like that. Yeah, it's too close to that though. Let me see if I can put the closest one to here on here, and then have the 3x3, then do it like that. Now that looks better actually. It's not too close to that, and it's not too close to that. It's like in like the it's, well, semi-dead center, though. Unless I move it over just by 1 block. Yeah, let's do that. Let's move it over by 1 block. Whoops. But then I have this block, a curved block. There we go. There we go. There we go. I like now that looks really good now. There we go. Now I like that design though. I really do like it. Okay, so now what I need to do now is I now need to make it the same exact length though as back here though.
Yeah, I said we're not going those inside.
But I need to stick it though to where it like ends out here though. There we go. Just so then I could start off with a tunnel then. Because there's always gonna be the there we go. Now I have to destroy all of this right here. Now, as soon as I'm done with connecting out the tracks, though, I'm going to then work on the train station, though. But the thing is, though, what I need to do, though, is I need to kind of copy this design, though, a little bit, though, just so it can, like, help me figure out what I need to do, though. Now, the only ones I'm going to need, though, is just the train add-on, though, because it gives me the access to the tunnels as well, though. And there we go. Nice. Okay. Let's now add the tracks in. Now, also though, I'm going to need to also extend that outward though as well though. Just to make it easier on myself. So as well though. Now, obviously though, when I'm done with the train station though, like building the train station, I'm going to need to make another backup though, just in case, you know. Now, this world will never be live streamed on, though. Unless if it's like during like the role plays, though. But that can only go to a max of 12 hours, though. I just realized that. Okay. So what I'm actually going to do first, though, is, well, first things first, I'm going to stick that in my inventory, though. I'm going to grab this out and stick that in my inventory. Sorry, though, because I'm going to need to extend this out more, though. Because I need to have it like 2 blocks out though, and then the support for the bridge. So it goes 1, 2, and then the support. There we go. Because just like over here with this tunnel over here, now the reason why it's not higher up though is because of the road above. Now, obviously, now I'm going to need to add a support in here, though, as well. Now, is there a middle block? Hold on, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 4 blocks over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over here. So, actually, I need to move this down by 1 more, actually. So what I need to do, though, is I need to actually I have to move this down by 1, though. So that means the tracks need to go here, though. Need to go right here. Which means I need to destroy all of this and fix it. Including this side too, though. Now, it's not that big of a fix, though, since I haven't, like, connected it over there yet, though, so that's at least a relief. So I am going to need to grab that full block back out then. So I'm going to need to grab this back out and this back out. But I also need to grab out the grass block too, though. So for right now, I'm going to stick the full block in there in my inventory, though, just so I can kind of patch this up, though, a little bit. There we go. Perfect. So now I'm going to grab out the full block again. But this time, though, I need to kind of, like, fix the road a little bit, though. Hold on, it actually goes like this. There we go. Then I have to destroy this area over here, though. No, not with that block, with the full block. And then what I can then do, though, is then I can just do a little bit of this, and then have the 3x3 there. There we go. There we go. Now that's more like it. But now what I need to do, though, is I need to bump this back by 1. Don't ask why I said it like that, though. Just don't, because I don't know why I said it like that. That just sounded weird to me. Because then now what I could then do, though, is then I can have this in, like, the dead center now. To kind of have, like, more support, though, between each tunnel. Or, now, I just want to see something, though, real quick, though. I just want to see what happens if I place it here. Oh, it doesn't connect. Nice. So, technically speaking, I can actually have 2 supports, though. Like, 4 different supports, though, on each side of the tunnel, actually. Because it will not connect to the tunnel, though. Because, for me, though, I might add, like, a separate, like, I might add, like, a walkway through here, though. I might not. Well, I'm gonna need to figure out a way, though, to kind of, like, make sure, like, the tracks have, like, a maintenance station, though. So I might actually add a maintenance station somewhere in here, though. I don't know yet. It's currently undecided at the moment, though. So for right now, I'm just gonna do this for right now, though. Just to make it easier on myself. Okie dokie. So now I'm gonna stick that back in my inventory. Let's grab this out. Let's stick that in my inventory and that in my inventory. Let's grab this out, too. Because now obviously I don't have the dynamic lighting anymore, though, which means that what I need to do, though, is this. I need to use, like, torches or lanterns or something like that. But I haven't decided what I'm actually going to use yet, though. So, well, well, I just want to see what each light looks like though, from like each perspective though. And I'm only going to test it on one tunnel though, to help me analyze though what block I'm actually going to use though. Like what type of light source though, because I'm not using an actual block though. I'm not going to use an actual block though. I want to use like a torch, or like a lantern or something. And when I think of tunnels though, I think of like actual lighting though. So, but the problem is there is no tunnel lights though. When it would be really cool though if they can actually add a tunnel light though. Like add like a trim block, add like a tunnel trim with a light though that actually lights up. If the creator though of this can actually do that though, then I can fix the tunnels pretty easily though. But unfortunately, that's going to be impossible to do. Well, unless if that specific person that watches my channel though, but that will be like extremely rare though if this person that created this train add-on though does watch my channel though. If this person does though, I just gave you a suggestion, but if you don't, then that's fine. But the reason why it's gonna look like this stuff right now though, now what I could do is I could have it like go up though, but the problem is though, yeah, it's right by a turn, which is why I'm going to have to leave it like that though, unfortunately. Now the reason I'm using white concrete though is because I think because I'm going to make the rest of because I'm going to make the platforms and the walls white concrete for the train station, of course though. There we go. Now that the tunnels are finished, I now need to kind of connect up these tracks though as well though, to like a single track though as well though. So. Here's what I'm going to now need. I'm going to stick this in my inventory. I'm going to need to grab this out, stick that in my inventory. But the problem is, so, you know what, let me get rid of this redstone torch, though, because I don't really need that at the moment, though. Just so I can stick that in my inventory. There we go. Okay, now that's a bit better. So now I'm going to need to figure out those. I'm now going to need to, well, also I need to grab out the train signals as well, though. I almost forgot about that, to be honest. If you're wondering why I'm filling the middle in with gravel, though, is because each track needs to have 2 on each side, though. So kind of think of it like this. Like this track has these 2, and then this track has these 2. Just think of it like that, you know. Okie dokie. So now what I'm gonna need to do though is this. I'm gonna need to have like one of these kind of like going like this, like that. I should probably put gravel down first, to be honest, though. But I didn't. Oh well. Whoops! I gotta put the gravel there. There we go. Ooh, I like that actually. So now I'm going to do those. I'm actually going to cut these back and replace it with a grass block. There we go. So just so it looks a little natural, you know. I also like the fact that the gravel also falls though as well though. There we go. Now, here's the problem though. I need to connect that track up though with this track too. So, Here's what I need to do though. I'm gonna do it like this as well though, just so I can like extend this out a little bit though. Now that just looks weird though if I don't add it like this though. There we go. That looks much better. Much better now. That looks much better. Okay, so now what I need to do is I now need to match that pattern over here now. Okay, so now I need to kind of go out to here. It's just so I can match the pattern though with this. Now I will add like what I'm gonna need to do is I'm gonna need to add like numerous like subway like so. Now what I could do though, what I'm not gonna do though is I'm not gonna extend the tunnel though out right now, like out to here though, because well I need to have the train signals though. So I'm gonna stick these down real quick actually to remind myself though, so I don't forget to do that actually. To be honest. Now what I'm going to do though is I'm also going to need to test it though as well though, like an actual car though IRL. So I'm going to need to eventually test that. So yeah, I'm not going to test it right now though. I will test it like off camera though. Now, unfortunately though, there is no actual way for me to put it as 2 tracks though, because there's no sign for 2 tracks. But what it will do though is it will like recognize like both tracks though. So if like both trains are coming at the same time though, it will actually make things easier though. So now what I'm gonna need to do, like I said though, I will extend that outward though, so it's hovering over those tracks over there too. Darn it. Ah! Darn it, stick drift though. I really do not like stick drift, I really don't. Now, there was something I just realized something though. These actually turn, these actually turn in like this, and then, okay, hold on a minute. And then this goes in like that. There we go. I think, right? Hold on, is that in the right spot? Yes, it is in the right spot. Okie dokie, so now what I need to do though, is now I need to figure out a way to connect those 2 up, though, with just, now I might have to bump that back though, I don't know yet though. So what I'm gonna need to do though, is this. The gravel though, real quick. Because what I need to do though is I need to connect these 2 up though to where it's only a single track. But the problem is though is how far apart they're at though. That's the problem. Oops, hold on a minute. Darn it, I messed it up. Hold on. I'm gonna just count the tracks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 tracks. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go, though. There we go, nice. Okay, so now what I need to do, though, is I now need to make these curve inwards, though, like towards each other. So now what I need to do, though, is I now need to stick that there, but then stick this one here to make it go like that. There we go, though. But now that doesn't look right, though. If you think about it, though. Because it needs to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It needs to be 7 blocks, though. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But if you look closely, though, I think to like somewhere over here. Yeah, if you look over here, if you look like right here, though. So basically, if you look right here, though, it is actually total blocks of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's total of 7 blocks going diagonal, though. So we have 1, 2, whoops, oh god, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But if you notice, though, I need to bump this back by 1, though. So it doesn't go out too far, though, you know? But here's the catch, though. It needs to look something like this. Like this, though. A little bit. So what I'm gonna need to figure out, though, is like, oh, hold on a minute, though. Actually, you know what this gives me an idea. Oops. Let me just do the tracks real quick, though, and then I'll, well, actually, hold on. Let's actually keep that one there, and then just kind of like 1, 2, 3, actually, hold on a minute. Actually, hold on. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7. Whoops. Yeah. But if you look closely over here, though, it's not going to line up, though. Which means I have to cut this back by 1 as well, though, to make it look like this. Now, even though it doesn't look right, though, it will eventually... Actually, yeah, it doesn't look right at all. Hold on. Yeah, that didn't look right to me, though. Hold on a minute. Hold on. Because what I'm trying to figure out, though, is... okay, so if it looks like that, but the problem is, so, like, it needs to kind of look something like this a little bit, though, you know? It needs to look like that. So it's actually going to need to be 8 over here, though. I don't know how, and I don't know why it needs to be 8. But actually, this side looks a bit too long over here. But then it's not going to look... oh, never mind. Never mind. So now what I need to do, though, is I now need to do the same thing on this side, though. But I may need to, like... Or maybe I could just leave that there. Leave that there, though, but what I need to do, though, is this. I need to figure something out, though, because I need to have it turn right here, though. I think, right? Hold on. Yeah, the turn block is over here, though. So the fact that the turn is over here, so the fact that the turn is on this block, is what it looks like to me. Yes, it is. And then now what I need to do, though, now is I now need to kind of like continue to add. But then it's not going to look as even, though, as this one. As this one, though. There we go. Oh, wait a minute. Actually, hold on. Because trying to make an exact replica of this though, on this side, though, is very complex, though. It is going to be very, very complex, though. But it looks like it matches so far, though, which is good. But here's the catch, though. Actually, no catch. How about drop in? There we go. I think I can actually just make this connect like automatically, though. Like automatically, though, you know? Because I think I can actually try to connect this, though, like right now, though. So we're gonna, oh wait, hold on a minute though. That's actually extended out by one more block, actually. I just realized. Down here. There we go. Now that's still not as good though, because now that side is longer than this side. Because if you look closely though, the outside is bigger. So I think I need to cut this back by a block. Hold on. Let's cut this back. Let's cut this back and then add a block on this side. Oh, that looks much better, actually. That actually looks much better. Much better now. Okay, so, but the problem is, though, I need to have it like... Ooh, I just realized something, actually. If you look closely, though, it's not going to fully connect, though. Because look at this. Hold on. Hold on, hold on, hold on. I need to kind of make it turn out a little bit more, though, so... I'm going to need to kind of turn it like this, though, a little bit. Kind of like this a little bit, though, you know? I need to kind of turn it out like this, just so it can have, like, one block in between, though. But the problem is, there's going to be 2 blocks in between, though. So I might have to have 2 separate connections, though. I'm going to have to do that, actually. Yeah, I'm going to need to have 2 separate connections, though, unfortunately. Because that's not going to go as I planned, as I originally anticipated, though. So